Hello everybody, Mark Hanna here, Grecian Formula with Wisdom Gaming. Today I'm starting to present the War and Peace scenario, 1812 invasion of Russia. Today's video will encompass the first turn of the action, including a major battle down near Brest-Litovsk. Let's take you right to the action. Hello folks, this is an errata insert for this video. Couple of things I want to point out in just a quality cleanup here. First of all, in the movement for Austria, they needed to leave one step in Lublin to maintain the supply line. I neglected to do that, caught it later. I did correct that in the battle, but not on the mapboard video of the movement for the Russian campaign French turn. In the battle itself, the second bullet point, Bagration's army was actually in marsh, so it should have received an extra -1 DRM in the dice roll for each round of that battle. It didn't have a major impact on the results, so I just played it as if it was really clear terrain. But you got to watch out. The marsh doesn't look that distinguished from clear terrain unless you're keeping a close eye on things. Still not used to the map is my excuse. All right, finally, you'll see some noobish camera jiggle and some of the frames where I was first working with the smartphone to make the recording. Sorry about that. You can't really hold these smartphones with just one hand, especially my left hand. So I had to get some equipment where I can hold it on a boom. Sometimes you want to move counters around while you're filming, so you need a tripod or a boom with a gimbal to keep the thing stabilized. So recognize that. I've got the equipment coming for future turns. All right, that's it. Enjoy the first turn of this after-action report, I guess you could call it. Here you go.
Here's the situation at the start of the 1812 scenario. I've got the major powers on the alliance display of France, Austria, and Prussia. You'll see them here. Probably go like that. And then Russia on this side. Technically, that would be offset by England, but I'm not really sure if we're supposed to put that on there. Anyway, the 8 city points represents that the Russians own all 8 major cities on mapboard 4. They also get points if they have some of the major cities on mapboard 3, but that's not going to be likely at the time the alliance phase kicks in, which isn't until November, when winter hits. Okay, so 1812, scanning over this way. Here's the initial setup I've adopted. Let's talk about the setup for the French. Here you can see them set up. There's a few adjustments you can make from some of the different cities. This is what I've adopted here, and basically as close as they can get to the line. The Russians have mostly set up as far away as they can from the front line. That's mostly noticeable here in Brest-Litovsk. There's Brest-Litovsk. Bagration is sitting right here, and he'll be facing an attack on the first turn from a group of guys over here. That's going to be at 3-2. Bagration's not yet on board 4, which is represented by the black line, as seen there. So, here's the setup. 500,000 French and French allied troops, about 250,000 Russians at the start of turn 1. What I'll do is I'll be playing this turn by turn and sending up a video for each turn, probably, depending upon how many battles need to be fought. I think I'll be doing the battles on Vassal. A couple things I want to talk about the Vassal module as well. That has clarified some things about the terrain chart, which is quite interesting. All right, so here we go, end this video. Okay, here we are. Napoleon and the Grande Armée has moved on turn 1. This is May 1812. You can see there's a large battle forming up. I'll zoom in on this. We'll do this battle on Vassal just so it's a little easier to track what's going on. I can do some die rolls there and stuff. Let's see. So the big battle is there near Brest-Litovsk. Here's my pointer. Brest-Litovsk. As you can see, I've got a pretty big force. We've got 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 16, 18, 19, 22 to 12, I believe. 3 to 2 odds. Trying to catch these guys before they get across into board 4. Anyway, I just turned on a light here. That's interesting. I've got things to learn about this camera. Anyway, up here you can see the bulk of the Grande Armée has assembled here, but I have moved Davout all the way down here to fight this battle. Napoleon didn't have his best marshals here, really, did he? So Napoleon moved all the way using his 12 movement points from Dresden to man the biggest field there. I've carefully placed the cavalry so it won't take any attrition losses, I hope. So that any attrition losses, which will be massive, unfortunately, here, hopefully if I win this battle, Davout can then advance or withdraw into different hexes so that he won't be suffering from too much attrition. Schwarzenberg's there. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, we're doing the Battle of Brest-Litovsk in May 1812. This is the first battle of the Russian invasion. Davout is leading about 20 strength points here against Bagration, who's got a 12. The French outnumber them in cavalry, but they will not do a cavalry charge, as they could lose a lot of cavalry. That's a little too early in that campaign to do that. Neither side will withdraw from this battle at this stage, so we're going to be using the tactical matrix. There are 6 possible results on the tactical matrix. Let's find that. Here's the tactical matrix in the red color, but they're both identical. As you can see, if neither side withdraws, then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 possible results that can happen. And so we're just going to randomize that. So let's start by randomizing the result for the larger force, which is the French. And they have rolled a 1, which means they will charge. Risky maneuver. Let's see what the Russians do. They also charge, so there's no net effect. And the attack is a 3 to 2 with a net -1 on the dice. Let's roll those dice, and we rolled a 6. A 6 on the combat chart. Let's see if we pull it up here so everybody can see what's going on. A 6 on the combat charge means that at 3 to 2, each side loses 1 strength point. Cross-indexing the loss chart at 12 strength points for the smaller force, each side loses 2 steps. So let's lose those steps. I've got to lose at least 1 step from these blue units, 1 Austrian unit, and 2 Russians. That's round 1 of the combat. Now, the fact is, the Russians do have a possible reinforcing force on the map from their commander nearby. Let me check those details. I've gone ahead and added the possible reinforcements from Tormasov up here. They're not in the combat yet. They need to roll a net 5. They get a +1 for Tormasov, and they do not add to the battle. Okay, so now, round 2, we'll continue the battle. I have 18 strength points versus 10, so it's still a 3 to 2. Bagration will not withdraw, neither will the French, so let's see what round 2 brings for tactical. Here's the French result. A 6, they refuse a flank. And the Russians skirmish. So a skirmish and a refuse. The larger force gets a +1 on the die. with this matrix result. You can see that here in the combat charts. The tactical matrix is here. Here it is. So they've refused and they've skirmished. No, actually I got that wrong. Sorry, that's the smaller force. This way, they skirmished, so they get an extra -1. So it's a net -2 for the Russian side, but an 8 is rolled. An 8 is a good result for the French side because only the Russians lose 1 strength point. Now they've got 10 points, so they lose 1 more point. Okay, but now it's going to be 18-9 if the reinforcements don't show up, and that'll be a 2-1. Let's see if Tormasov can get the reinforcements in round 3, adding 1 to this. They do arrive. So here comes the reinforcements, perhaps in the nick of time. These bloody movement trails, I might have to change the Massel module to get rid of these. Okay. At least they should be hidden unless you want to see them, I think. All right. Well, this changes the odds back to 1-1 now. These were the starting odds, but it's now 1-1, net -1. Why is it a -1? Just to clarify, the morale of most of these is 2 stars. That's the Russians, whereas the morale of the French side, the French allies, is only a 1. All right. Well, we're going to have to keep fighting this. So here's the French tactical pick. It's a skirmish. And the Russian tactical pick is a 5. Now they refuse. Okay, so I think that reverses the effect on the chart. Skirmishing, a refusal gets net +1. So we're now at 1-1 flat on the chart. Here's the roll, a 7. And we both lose 1. Okay, so what's the smaller force now? 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 16 with a 1. Each side loses 2. And we're starting to get into a major bloody battle here. Okay, mark those movement trails off. They lose 2. I guess we'll take 1 of each off rather than sacrifice the entire manhood of Saxony here. Okay. Well, now we're down to 16 to 14. It's still a 1-1. The Russians have the edge if they continue to fight, but they're losing more forces. This is turning into a bloody result here for them. They should try at least 1 more time. Here's the French tactical result. They roll a 3 for another skirmish. Russians, what do they try to do? A 2 with envelop. Let's take a look at the tactical chart for this result. Skirmish is taken down by an envelop. So now it's going to be a 1-1 -2. Let's roll the result. It's a 6. 1-1 with a 6 result. Yep, still 1 on each side. We're down to 14 points on a side. 2 points again as the bloody battle continues. Let's move this over here. And we'll move these 3 back. Okay. And 2 for them, because it's time to lose a couple of poles. And here we go. Continuing the battle. Well, think it's worth one more round at least, so let's give it a try. Here's the French. Tactical result, they keep skirmishing. And the Russians, 4. With a 4, it's a bombard. Let's take a look at the skirmishing chart. So that's a net improvement for the French, so it's a 1-to-1 even, and we rolled a 3 though. A 3 on the 1-to-1 is a massive loss for the French. So the Russians were wise to stick it out. They still have 12 points left. What do they have? 8, 9, 10, 11. So they'll lose 2 points. The D2 result yields 5 step losses for the French. And at least 1 cavalry, so we'll take off an Austrian cavalry, an Austrian strength point, and 3 more points. Move a trail off, 3 more points. Brutal. And there's the net result of a very bloody battle for both sides. Let's see what happens to the leaders, starting with Davout. He's okay. Schwarzenberger. Schwarzenberger has been wounded for 2 turns. Okay, keep that in mind for him. Send him to leader casualties. He just goes to the turn track. He's not dead. Jerome? Nope. And Poniatowski? Nope. Bagration? Okay. And Tormazov? Okay. Alright, that's the net effect of the result. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 steps. Big battle. Plus a cavalry step. And the Russians lost 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So slight advantage to the French, but they did lose a victory point and have to withdraw from the battle. So that's it. Very exciting. Thank you for watching. Here we go. I'm going to leave this battle.
Here's the situation after the Polish defeat at Brest-Litovsk. The loss of Schwarzenberg for a couple of turns, replaced by leader 0. And rather than, it was very tempting to try to fight Davout and the cavalry there, but with that massive French coming in, the Russians decided to fall back. Failed forced march there by Bagration. He wasn't able to get 1 hex further, but I was able to keep him in supply with a cavalry line. These others are in supply up here in a central location so that they can somewhat guard the approach to either Moscow or St. Petersburg, plus Smolensk needs to be taken anyway. So we'll see what happens on the next turn, which will be June.